Here we are, the end of J. Michael Straczynski's first arc for Captain America. Now, he writes these very much like it's 2004, where like the story is 6 issues. It was written to be 6 issues. Each part felt like a slog. It built up very slowly, and we finally have like the concluding battle here. You could have skipped like, issues 2 through 4 and really just never missed anything. It's really the way that these like decompressed, deconstructed storylines have always ended up. And issue 5 ended up a little better. At least some stuff happened. Now it's to a point where it's a knockdown, drag-out fight between Captain America and like this demon. And it cuts back and forth between Captain America now and Steve Rogers at a literal Nazi rally back in the 40s. And Steve Rogers is about to die back then, and of course, like everything JMS loves to do with these characters, it ties back into his origin, and this is like his pre-origin that leads to his origin, much like he did with the Spider-Man thing, right? And so this is how he came about. Some of the coloring here is really wonky on this issue. Like, I didn't notice it in the prior issues, but this one, like, you see how Captain America really just stands out and does not feel like he's even in that scene there, just because the lighting is kind of off, like on how it hits Captain America versus how it hits the back there. Feels like he's a 2D thing just kind of pasted in front of the panel. And that's just the colorist right there who's doing that job, who caused a problem. Most of the coloring is like kind of dark and dreary. It doesn't really fit Captain America. It feels like it's for a darker noir comic, which, like, this is a weird panel too. You see this guy's nose. That's just literally like a Lego block. This is something I'd expect to see from John Romita Jr. like these days, who's had some rough stuff. I don't know why that panel was let be like that, but, is what it is. They're probably rushing on a deadline. You know how comics are these days. So you get the fight. You get the thing. Steve Rogers is trapped in this car back in the day. He goes underwater. To Straczynski's credit, that's a pretty tense scene there. Like, I mean, even though Steve Rogers is going to come out of this because he's Captain America now, those underwater scenes get me. And so when he's trapped in the car, doesn't know if he's going to get out of there. That's actually one of the better, finer points of this entire series so far. But it really doesn't make up for much, because at the end of this, we're going to get to it. Steve Rogers, of course, beats the demon. He wakes up in like the old. This one is how it ties back into his origin. And now he comes back to modern times. Now, in modern times, he's become a landlord, like a communist landlord, who, like, the rent's too damn high, and he's giving people some cheaper space, basically. This Korean guy with him, who doesn't really look Korean, he looks kind of like half like a mulatto, I guess. Can you say mulatto anymore without getting in trouble? Who knows? It's 2024. But he's listed as a Korean, even though he doesn't really look like one. And he's been doing handyman work for him, and he's going to move out to Seattle now because he doesn't like the way his family is treated around here. Somebody talks to him about it, and why doesn't he like it? Oh my gosh, he saw this wall. This is it. That guy's moving out of here because somebody did some graffiti, right? What's interesting is, like, if you look at New York, it's littered with graffiti, it's littered with crime, it's littered with homeless, it's littered with trash everywhere these days. Not a lot of literal Yahtzee stuff right here. This is something that is all entirely in JMS's mind. And, you could see the way he phrases it, America for Americans. That's an America first sort of allegory. The Trump people are literally Nazis in modern America. Here we go again. This is where we're going to start the next arc. You just kind of wait for it with these Trump deranged people like Straczynski. They can't really write good comics anymore because they are just so caught up in modern politics that they just like can't deal with Captain America anymore. And Captain America is not a liberal guy. He really is a conservative guy and a conservative figure throughout all of this, but none of these writers can write the character right because of this. And so he's just mad about the literal Yahtzees. They scared off his immigrant friend with a, graffiti. So very weird stuff. Again, this is not a reflection in New York, which is like an incredibly liberal city, which, it's mostly just like creepy gangs of minorities that are actually going out and being dangerous out there. But JMS can't write that because that's against his little Hollywood worldview right there. And, so Captain America has to conform to JMS's Hollywood worldview rather than actually make sense as Captain America. And that's what we're going to get into here. And it's just like, you knew it was coming. You knew he couldn't like resist doing this. And here we go again. Another character that's going to just be another Trump derangement sort of allegory thing as it comes up here. Ruined the end of the story, really. And that's going to be where it goes in 2024. Can't wait for the next issue. Joy. All right. The ending really missed the landing. I mean, the first half of the issue was pretty fine, and then it got into this, and it was just kind of slow garbage again, and political garbage again. And we're looking at it being like a 5 out of 10 overall for this book. All right. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.